This episode was brought to you in full by
Yeah.
patreon.com/defense of the patients.
Right there. Yeah, keep going.
I feel like I could be done, but like the
No,
goal
you gotta-
is to get more. To get
More what?
More pledges. If
More
you like
current-
the show,
What are they
you like-
pledging, though? What are they pledging? Like, we don't need... Do we want loyalty? Are we looking for a
Oh, yeah.
tribute? Is this like a
I'm looking
food
like
thing?
if I call on a banner, like when you pledge, that means that if I call on your banner and you don't show up, we unpledge you.
Is that going to put grain in the trough?
It will put grain in the trough. It will fill our buckets full of water, and they will be half full until they are completely full. Because we are optimistic, looking forward that Patreon.
Okay.
You know, I was trying to do like
You kind
cool
of, but I
analogy,
liked the
yeah.
half full thing, and then I was like, I feel like you were just kind of throwing that in because it came into your mind, but it wasn't
did.
really relevant. Yeah.
It wasn't relevant at all.
Yeah, it
but
really wasn't.
right now, Patreon is the money that we are going to be using, obviously to pay show hosts, but the other bits of it are going toward making our TI trip, which is going to be awesome, that much more awesome. It's going to allow us to have cameramen following Proud around for his antics, which they're hilarious. I mean, Proud got hit on the camera last year at TI6, but
It sounded like you started that sentence with "proud got hit on," and then you said "the camera," and I was like, "How did
you
these
did
two
get hit on. That
concepts
camera was
mix?"
way into you, dude. You have a way with electronics.
Yeah, but it would be like hit on by, like there would need to be another word there, but just
Yeah,
like
you
hit
were
on
hit
the
on by
camera.
the camera.
Like, what? Like I got hit on
camera-
camera. I got
camera
hit
just
on
kept-
the camera. Like there's a lot of cameras. It was just I don't know. I couldn't parse that as
the
we were
camera
going through it.
couldn't stay away from Proud. It was just like, damn, look at that man, and it was
Right.
and Proud was just like wink, and like the diamond when he did the wink. Anyway,
A little sparkle.
yeah,
Like
little
when Team
the
Rocket
sparkle.
is blasting off away, like that kind of link. Or
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Ding.
Little twinkle.
And even maybe on the tooth too. Ding.
No.
Anyway.
I mean, my teeth are fine, but they're not like twinkly. My eyes are pretty sweet, but I mean, they're like just like average teeth, and it's not like.
Well, and we
crazy.
expect the witch's hat too, and I feel
Oh,
like the
that's
witch's
every
hat
day.
is going to do a lot. Anyway, patreon.com/defense of the patients. I think the minimum pledge is $5, but just know that if you are listening to this in your car, we have been doing this for free, and we will continue to do it for free. But it does help us every little bit. Every time my phone dings and I see a patron, I literally go, yeah! So if you want to make me go, yeah! Donate or pledge to patreon.com/defense of the patient. Hello all and welcome to Proudland, where it is all of Proud and half of me. Roland, half of me. You didn't learn from last week when I said, let somebody... Do you want to bring it in? Do you want to bring it in?
I like when we chime in together. It's cute.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Hello all and welcome to Proudland, where it's all of Proud. So when I try and orchestrate one, you don't follow along?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what we were going to do on 3. I didn't know we were just gonna restart everything.
I didn't
So I was
restart
just like-
anything.
Oh no, I know you didn't
we're keeping
restart.
this.
But I mean, okay, you restarted the show in like a talking sense. Like you restart, like you started at the beginning again.
I can't believe you don't
which
know
is
my
basically
nonverbal
restarting.
cues. Maybe that's because we're not sitting in a studio
Look,
together.
I was screwing with my volume and stuff, and I was like, I'll just let him do a pass at this, and then maybe it'll be fine. I don't know, who knows.
Anyway,
I did also. I think at the very least, I want to say like unconsciously, I was like, let's just let him go.
yeah, no, you're the type to leave somebody hanging, not like hanging from a cliff. Like I feel like you'd still help me
No,
out.
more
but,
from
like,
a noose. More into that kind of thing.
No, wow, it gets darker.
Sometimes you gotta, like if there's some rebels, you gotta execute them to show your iron grip. You've seen me do that to someone too. Like when some of the older, this is like a kind of inside stuff for .p stuff, but we used to have some other people like relatively involved with .p, and there was like a small insurrection. And this was one of the reasons that we went to like last TI. We actually spent a lot of money going to last TI. Like monetarily, it wasn't quite worth it. But I did let Cyphus and Ursi know. I let Roland know later. But I did actually have to kill several people who used to be involved with .p because things weren't working out with them. And there was just like a whole
money
thing.
gets mixed in with business. And
Yeah,
you kind
and
of
then
need a
they
hitman.
they
Yeah.
had like passwords to like one
Yeah.
of our accounts, and
Hmm.
turns out we didn't need it anymore. But I was like, well, like they may think that they have leverage on us now, so we gotta just kill them.
Well, after you
And
did it, Cyphus and I were like, "Whoa, okay, well, we'll just not tell anybody." And
yeah,
here you are. But they're very, we think about them from time to time. But yeah, they
I don't.
definitely. I don't know how you killed them, but you definitely disposed of them in a good fashion because nobody's really asked about them since. So
I use my elbows.
I just picture you like a chicken, like, come here, bitch, elbow, 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 elbow,
Yeah, no,
elbow,
you
punch.
like you're okay. So this is the proud method of murder. Yeah, I want people can mark this down. I used to do a lot of martial arts, and I did taekwondo, and I moved into the elbow discipline. All of this was true up to there. And so what I would do, my legs are really flexible, and more or less the method I have, since I'm very small, I can't like just fuck with people, and I can't really like grapple super well. But I would just like I'd run at them, and then I would jump, and I'd hold my like arms back and my thrust my hips a little bit forward, and I would latch onto their waist with my legs, and then you just take both your elbows and you just fucking jam it in the base of their neck, and that's how tiny people can kill people with their elbows.
That sounds like a massage more than it sounds like a way to kill
Well,
somebody, dude.
that's
Like,
why you wear like so also I used to rollerblade, so I have these elbow pads, but they have spikes on them because it was like death roller derby only for tiny dudes. And so I just jump and I thrust my hips forward and I just latch onto you. Like I have my legs out like a fucking scorpion claw, and then as soon as my crotch hits you, that it's just like a trigger, and it's like shink, and it just latches on you. And then you got my spiky rollerblade elbows all up in your neck, and you got your fucking pierced trachea. It's just not a good situation. So
so
never cross me unless you want rollerblade Nick trachea issues.
you just have them always like under your button up shirt. You
Yeah,
have
I
these
know. I keep them
pokies.
in my pant butt pocket, and one that protects my wallet. But it does fuck up every chair I sit on, which is why if you've seen the stream, my chair is so fucked up. That's because every time I get up, my rollerblade spikes just scratch the shit out of the back of my chair.
Oh man! If only we could like map your entire brain and just let it run. Just be like, all right, we're just gonna let his brain run for like 10 years and just see what comes out. It
Yeah,
would be
man.
interesting to see the patterns. I can attest to your grappling abilities because
Not like grappling as in like
your
jujitsu
leg
shit, but
grapples.
grappling as in like Batman with a grappling hook, as in it just like gets places.
Well, I'm saying your leg grapple. Like you were alchemist to Wazoo being the ogre.
I got some flexy legs. What can I say?
And it was maybe one of the funnier moments at the lake house last year was Wazoo was like, I'm an ogre, and Proud was the little gnome on
Brazil.
top.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you get some ups, you jump on a big boy, and then you grapple. I mean, I got a lot of practice getting these, grappling with my legs onto people. How is he gonna get them with the neck trachea?
I just have this picture in my mind of Wazoo doing like he has his arms out and doing the alchemist last hit animation, and
Yeah.
you were just like on top of it. Like
I also do squeal quite well the higher I am in
you did.
elevation.
You did squeal. We were at sea level, so I guess that's where you squeal your best.
I mean, like me in coordination with like the ground below me. So I was
Oh,
I was
okay.
much higher than I normally am because I was
Yeah,
on top of
you're like
Wazoo, who is
6
indeed
feet.
a tall
Yeah.
human, and I'm not a tall human. So it was like him plus my torso.
So you were like 6 feet above
Like
sea level, but
13
6
feet
feet
up in the
above
air.
ground. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay, I see.
It's more of a mental thing than,
It's
than an actual like elevation air pressure thing.
You feel the squeal when you're taller.
It was a
The-
solid. Yeah, it was a good rhyme.
yeah, I didn't even mean to.
Well,
Um,
hey, here we are.
Let's catch up a little bit on what's been
Whatever.
going on with Proud over the last week because we played some Dota maybe
Yeah,
Monday,
like 2 days ago. Dude, it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
2 or 3 days ago. It feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you. But
Yeah, I don't know. What did we play? Did we play Game Hours Co-op? I think so.
I don't know, dude. I just know that I wasn't doing well. Um, I'm not doing.
Oh, there were a few games
well.
ago. I was thinking because I don't play that much party, but I played with AG and fuck, like what is this? What is this fucking game? What is this game that I played? There it is, 17 points, minus 17. Yeah, it was AG and Nereus, yeah, who apparently I met at TI, but of course I don't remember the name of every single human I met at TI, so it kind of felt like a piece of shit. Yeah. Shit, when did we play? You're not helping at all.
Yeah, see, I thought it was more like
Oh, that's when I
we.
played Drow and we lost 22. Yeah.
And what did I play?
When I was Drow, you were Lich, which is like,
Oh
okay,
yeah,
I guess you can play Lich, whatever.
yeah,
And no, we won a game. We won when I was Ember, right? No, that wasn't with you. Fuck.
yeah. Probably not with me. I'm kind of cursed, or I'm
Yeah.
just playing
No, yeah, we
really
just
bad.
played one game. Fuck. Okay, and then there was a different day that we played more games. Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
I lost mid twice in a row, which was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, no, I did fine.
So
I was 8-4 when it was 47-19, and I was 8-4. So I was like, whatever. Like
that paints a
other
pretty
people suck.
picture. Which I mean, how many times did I die? You have
Oh
that up?
God, let me get back to that game real quick. Jakiro, you died 8 times compared to our teammates, which died 9, 15, and 11 times. Which is okay.
So
When you're
we all died a
Abaddon
lot.
and Slark have like 3 times the combined deaths of your fucking Jakiro, you know you fucked up.
Yeah. Dying in Dota is a big deal. What else? What about
All right, let's see the other game. Okay, when you were Centaur, yeah, you were 1-16 on Centaur, and I was 19-2 on Ember. Okay, so we lost these games, but I did fucking great, so whatever.
yeah, dude. Imagine if I was just sitting in Fountain, and just was 0-0-0, and you were 19-2.
Yeah, I
Feel
can
like we would have had
actually
a better
directly
chance.
see what would have happened there. Give me you should talk about something for like 4 seconds.
Yeah. It was. I can talk about the Centaur game. I'm Centaur. I'm strong. I level up return level 1. Nope, I can't go that far in the lane. I die. That's all right. I'll buy a TP real quick and I'll go right back in lane. I'm gonna get him this time. I died again. I res back up in 7 seconds. Now I don't have a TP. I'm gonna hoof my way back to off lane. Oh fuck! They barely got me. Oh dude. But it doesn't matter. They got me because they were able to 100-0 me, like we talked
Fuck,
about
where does
last
it
week.
say gold fed? That should be like right here. I
Oh,
forget. Okay, I mean, yeah, I'm looking at
there's a
Dota
way
Buff.
you can
So
see how much
you,
gold I fed?
yeah, and I've Dota Buff Plus. Well, okay, at the very least, I can say you lost 3,500 gold from deaths.
Oh
So
my
let's see,
god.
what was your GPM? It was a number, I'm sure.
It was probably in the 300s, I'd have to guess, with a 1-16. Like
Yeah.
maybe 290 to 350 is what I give that range.
Let's see. GPM. No, you had 229. And the gold you lost
God.
does not factor into that.
No, it doesn't. So
Yeah. So let's. Yeah.
how
Anyway,
many minutes?
Your net worth was like 10K over like an hour long game.
It was a really long game.
So
Yeah.
if you just like AFK'd for
I
a lot of
snatched an
that and
Aegis,
just
though.
like you did do that. Was
And
that
it was
because they stole the Aegis kill or?
yeah, so we were killing the Roshan, and then Roshan's at a sliver, and Invoker does a deafening blast meteor, and he deafening blast kills the Rosh, and as I'm being pushed back, I right click the Aegis, and then the meteor comes down and kills me,
Beautiful.
and I re-res, and then I die again, and
Great.
so it was like the lamest Aegis snatch you could. Like Denny was like, "I saw you got an Aegis snatch, nice man." And
So
I was
we're
like,
well, someone stole our Roche kill, actually.
yeah.
And
I
we got
picked
the
it up
Aegis
and then
match
died
free,
and then died.
immediately lost it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you fed 7,300 gold that game in deaths, which is not as bad as their Jakiro, who fed 8,600. But you know that's still something.
Pretty close. I mean,
The
and
Jakiro
Jakiro's at
did
least
have-
lower down.
They
on the
did
line.
have 21 deaths. Jakiro did have 21 deaths to his credit, so it's not that bad.
I think we're seeing a pattern here. Okay, what about just your general well-being over the last week? How have things changed for Proud
I'm
over
fine.
the last week? You good?
Back off. No, it's fine.
Back off. Just fuck you. Why would you ask
Get
such
outta
a
here.
question? Well, okay, good. We're starting out the week, just seeing how you're doing. Want people to know.
Yeah,
Looking
I've
forward to
been-
Theorycraft.
I've been
I
losing
want
on
you-
Lone Druid again, which is super weird for me. I'm in such a weird spot. Like, okay, so Dota's just fucking weird now. Like, do you notice how there's just no like, how do you farm? How do you do it?
I don't know. I lose. So
Okay, did I have this conversation with you about how low GPM is now?
No, you didn't.
Okay, so look at like any of your games that you did well and like look at your score and be like, oh shit, I bet I had like a ton of GPM. But then you literally can't find like a single game that you've had where you didn't go like 30-0 and end the game at 30 minutes while 7 slotted, where you have over like 6 50 GPM, right?
You're
Like,
actually, I did notice this. You didn't have this conversation with me, but I noticed this separate of this conversation where
yeah.
I won a game in 28 minutes. Are you on my profile? It's like
No, why
one of
would
my
I be
last.
looking at yours?
I don't know, because you're looking to. I don't. I honestly don't know why you would. Anyway, I was playing. Just we steamrolled. I
Yeah.
can't remember what I was playing. Well, anyway. The moral of the story is we steamrolled, and I was just getting every kill. I was farming super super well. We end the game at 28 minutes, and I'm like, this is going to be my like 800 900 GPM game. This is going to be my 950. I could see 1,000 GPM in this game. It ends at 28 minutes, and it's like 626, and I'm like, what? Like like that's
Yeah.
like a
No,
700
it's
GPM game
crazy,
at
dude.
least.
It's fucking unreal. Let me see.
I think the jungle. I mean, because I may have been on I think it might have been AM, to be honest with you, where I just had this crazy AM game where I was doing like what we were talking ever since we talked last week. By the way, I've been picking AM now, but playing him like how we talked about it, where it's like I drive by shoot, as in I drive by mana void, and then I farm. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'll go down like the main artery of the map, which you could call mid, and I'll drive by like blow somebody up, and then keep farming, find my opportunity to drive by kill, and I was able to get like everything I needed by like everything and more by like 28 minutes, and then the game just ended, and I
Yeah.
was like that anti-mage game was like that's my 900 GPM anti-mage game right there. I think it was anti-mage. Anyway, I haven't played a lot of Dota the last week. Life has been getting in the way of my Dota, which is lame. But there was a message because Denny and I recorded the Friday show, which was the not pro show because Breaky CPK had a vacation he went on. And Fancy Pants, he's a member of the community, a super cool guy. He said, I miss the Roland that tried hard, is what he said. And it really hit me hard. Where he's like, I miss the Roland that would come on the shows. And instead of being like, I suck, and that's where I'm at, and I suck, he's like, I miss the Roland that was getting close to 4K and was trying every single game. And it's like the most emotional tweet that I've ever probably read, where it was like, wow, like I guess I was, or he said the content that Roland made when he was trying to get to 4K was way more interesting than the content Roland's making now. And I was like, damn, like, do you believe this to be true? Like, was he the only one?
You're asking me, or
I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm asking you. Oh,
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like you know me. Like, as soon as something happens, I just want to fucking think about it and talk about it a shit ton. Like, that's why I have a podcast. So obviously, if Roland's trying, he's like he's trying to think about shit.
More
and do
interesting
stuff
topics
like,
are gonna come up, and yeah.
Instead of as opposed to like
this Venom mid,
you're just like, I random something and I did whatever, and then the game ended.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, shut up.
Yeah. I can understand that completely, which is why what I've started to do is I'm getting all my bullshit out by doing bot jungle matches, and I'm doing an A through Z jungle where I'm going to get all my stupid shit that I want to get out on bot matches. And after that tweet, I will say, like, it every single time when I'm in that pick phase, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go with the Skywrath Mage that I never play, because Skywrath Mage sounds fun right now because he can do those mystic flares that go boo, 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 and kill people. Nope, I'm going to go with a hero that I've played a lot and that I understand, because I can't have 9.9 versatility and be climbing.
Okay, wait, I want to pull it back because I like my fingers shot up and I was like, oh, an idea when you were talking about shit. And I want to pull things back because I listened to the last like the Saturday episode with you. Oh no, the not pro show, which is basically the Saturday show.
Yeah.
Okay, so on one hand, yes, Cyphus is totally right that you should focus on several heroes. But I also want to tie that into like, so there's something that I've been parroting a shit ton, and that's like, to get better at Dota, the prerequisite. So like, yes, it's better to focus on certain things, but like, you can't just tell someone what to focus on. The thing that I want to add is like, you're only going to get better at Dota if you really want to, and you're only going to really want to if you're doing things you like. So the difference is that you should focus on a few things that you like really really like when I focused on Lone Druid when he was not fucking good in any goddamn respect. He hasn't been good. Like the last time that he was actually good was like after they added Savage Roar, and then before that, the
Well, you
only
had
time
the Lonely Druid that was around forever.
no,
It felt
that
like.
was after that was way after Savage Roar. Savage
I
Roar
know
was
it was
like two
after
years
Savage
ago.
Roar.
You know, so
Oh, you're saying the first time he was ever good
yeah,
was
and
at that point.
I
Okay.
started playing him before TI3, and the last time that he was good, or in the like, so I was playing him even before. So there was a bug a while ago, and this was like the glory days of pre TI3 Druid, where Armlet used to just not reduce the bear's health at all. Like it would
Yeah.
just he didn't get the strength, but he got everything else, and was fucking awesome. And it was a sweet ass melee Druid, and that's what got me to love him. And then they fixed that, and then it's like, oh, build Radiance, and I was like, no, I hate
Yeah.
it. I
Radiance was the thing.
want to hit
Yeah.
him. And then it just kept like that forever. And then Lone Druid was just always shit. But I was playing him because he was fucking fun. And now I'm a really good Lone Druid player. And that's like that. And like when I played in competitive teams and stuff, I was the Lone Druid. And I played this with recently Skrunk. I played with Skrunk. I was like the Lone Druid with an Ogre Magi and like a Magnus on my team. And I just had my bear like bloodlusted and empowered and like alacrity and shit.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then
Oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
then I was
Didn't
like,
your
oh,
did the bear get buffed like the catapult got buffed?
no, it does normal
Oh.
attack damage like a creep, not siege damage like a
Oh,
catapult.
siege. Oh, yeah,
That's
siege,
something
siege,
like
siege.
as soon as
Yeah.
the last tournament came out and people were picking Lone Druid Bear, they're just like, oh, siege damage. Bear is so good. I'm like, it doesn't do siege. Shut up. Like, stop and analyze. You could have just checked to know it doesn't do that, but
Yeah.
fuck.
I
Twitter
mean,
was
we've had
obnoxious for
shows
a
on
solid
Proudland.
minute.
I couldn't remember if bear did.
Yeah.
So yeah, here there's hero damage, normal damage, siege damage, basically.
Yeah. And then here normal is like, fucking low
What creeps do.
melee creeps. And then there's
Yeah.
like piercing, which is the ranged creep, and the trolls and some of the small
Yeah.
creeps.
It's
Yeah.
complex, but yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Basically,
Anyway,
real quick,
was-
let me clear up a
okay.
misconception.
Sure.
Range creep does not do most damage to tower. I want you to know that. Melee creeps are the damage on the tower, not the range creep. That's all. That's all.
Yep.
So-
yes. Okay. So yeah, so I was saying like Skrunk was just like, yo, like I remember this. Like every team we were on, eventually it just evolved into buff Proud's bear, and we will win every game. And I was like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for fucking ever. And like I got to that point because I was doing something that I loved. Not because it was good, but because I loved it. And because I loved it, I found a way to make it work. But I didn't do that by just randoming Lone Druid, playing one game, and then randoming another hero. I like even if something is
put work
shitty and
in.
weird, the fact that like, and I like not only was Lone Druid bad, but I do my own build for Lone Druid. I was even doing Deso. That's like there's Lone Druid that's like, oh, you go Radiance, and that's like regular Druid. So there's one degree of weird and like, oh, I play Lone Druid, but at least I build Radiance and do random stuff. Then there's another degree of weird, and it's like I play Lone Druid, but I do like the Maelstrom stuff. And then there's another degree of weird that's I fucking play Lone Druid and I build like Deso for some goddamn reason. Oh,
But you
also
were-
my main win condition is I backdoor tier 4s. Like that's
were
the kind of
building-
weird shit.
Exactly, and you were building expensive Deso, not cheap Deso that we know now.
Yeah,
Because
well,
Desolator
now
used to be 4,200 gold. Now it's 35.
Yeah, that was
Because the recipe
not
used
as
to
good.
be.
Now it's better.
Wasn't the recipe like 1,200
It
or
was
something like
it was
that?
900, I think.
I thought it was way more expensive, but maybe it was just slightly more expensive.
It went from 900 to 300, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So yeah, it was a big difference. So it was 42. I think, so it was 4,100 versus 3,500. Like that's a big
Something like that.
difference.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a ton. But anyway, yeah. So that's so this is what I'm saying. If you want to get better at Dota, it's fine if you like weird shit. It's just you have to optimize it and you have to try at it. Like the most obnoxious thing of watching you like do Techie's jungle or whatever isn't that you were doing Techie's jungle. It's that you put zero effort in finding a way to make it work. You just did it and then it didn't work and then you laughed and then went on to the next thing that doesn't work. Like fuck. Just
It's like not taking my job seriously. Which it's true. Like and Denny brought up a good point in that that's resonated with me as well on the Not Pro show where he's like, .p was supposed to be like a journal entry like of us getting better at this. Not of us going down like these weird shoots of getting, basically practicing shit that's gonna make you worse.
Yeah.
And I don't regret playing like every hero and trying to learn every hero from the sense of like doing like an all hero challenge and everything. But I do agree that I don't know what it is, like whether it's like ADHD or like I lose confidence when I lose a game. Like I
No, I
feel
mean
like I'm a good
it's
Luna
just
or
standard.
something.
Like
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
the thing with Dota is, and this is a big. I mean, there's yeah. Again, there's so much shit baked into everything. But one big part of Dota is too big for any one person to know. Right? It's like the world of mathematics and science. One person didn't do that shit. Everything they do is like fucking over layers and layers of like sediment and bedrock and other shit laid down by other people. And the cool thing that you did is you built one
You
thing on
added to
top
it.
of it.
Yeah.
So like if you random a hero and then play it once and then like with no knowledge going into it, you're going to play about as well as someone did in 2008 unless you just strike gold randomly. So like if you
Or
ever
your
do
team just
anything,
carries you.
yeah,
Yeah.
or something like that. Or I mean, you may still play as well as someone in 2008, and your team carries you. That you can still
Yeah.
win like that. But
Yeah.
my point is, if you ever do anything in Dota and don't at the very least check if there's things that other people have figured out for you, you are just kind of wasting your time. And this is the difference between like you playing a shit ton of Meepo and trying to figure Meepo out and you randoming Meepo once and then not playing it again, right? Like the Meepo thing
Yeah.
was cool because it's like Roland is actively trying to do something. At some
Mhm.
point, he decided that he shouldn't try to figure out how to use control groups or Blink Dagger, which was a problem. But everything besides that was very cool. But like you can do a lot of cool ass shit, like Jungle Venomancer. That was good, but like a lot of pros figured out how to optimize it. And Roland to Jungle
Like leaving
Venomancer
at level
after.
5.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
after you figured out how like to do it well, like that's cool. But going into a game and like, oh hey, turns out this hero can't jungle. Like you could have watched YouTube for 2 minutes and figured that out.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like I was doing the jungle Veno for a while, especially when I started doing jungle Veno when it showed the creep spawn boxes, because that was always my issue beforehand.
Oh yeah,
Was if I block a camp, like efficiency just goes right out the window because you cannot deny
yeah,
your
you're
own
fucked.
Veno wards, unless they're low health. Which why would it be low health? I think yeah, you can deny them if they're low health. Anyway, when it started showing creep spawn boxes, I was like, well, I'm just gonna fucking go right around the perimeter, and that way this is gonna be great, and it worked. And then Zai started doing it, and he did it to level 5, and it worked like beautifully. But I didn't have a goal, like, and that's what the YouTube series that I'm doing on the jungling thing is. I'm making a goal for each hero. Like jungle Abaddon is Abaddon to Vlad's. Okay, you're gonna jungle the Vlad's, and then you're gonna leave.
Do you get boots?
Yeah, brown
Thank
boots
God.
Vlads. Yeah, brown boots Vlads.
The worst is
Um,
when a jungle guide is like, here's how you get to this item, and then they like leave the jungle with a
yeah,
stout shield and that one item and no boots. I'm like, well, guess what, buddy? You need to kill 2 more camps real quick and buy them boots up.
boots will be on everything.
Thank
Yeah,
God.
there
Just
will be
random
boots on every
question:
single hero.
did you check for everyone else's way to jungle these heroes before you invented your own?
Um, I go onto YouTube and I type in Dota 2 Jungle 7.06.
Okay, all right.
And
So I
there's
want
a
to make
few.
sure it wasn't like, hey, by the
Yeah,
way, someone already has a better way to jungle all of these.
the thing with Abaddon is there's not really like
There's not a lot of
it's
tricks
Curse
or
of
whatever.
Avernus and it's Shield, right?
Yeah,
It's attack speed and it's shield that's protecting you and then doing damage, and it's choke farming, right? You cut
yeah,
a tree down so only one thing can hit you at
yeah,
a time.
yeah, for sure.
It's not real rocket science with Abaddon,
Yeah,
but with other heroes there are like nuanced ways to jungle. Like Spectre, you spectral dagger into trees and shit. So you know, anyway, it's weird. But what I want to get at today,
okay.
um, and this is something that will make me a better Dota player, and this is something that people who are good at Dota have told me that I have a big issue with, is I die too much, and I put myself in unnecessary risks where I die, but I also feel like I'm oblivious sometimes when I die as well. Like sometimes I know that like what you're doing is going to result in a death and it isn't worth it, but you're doing it anyway because
Yeah.
you want that. Ha ha
Hey,
ha! I got you.
I'm sure
You
you
know.
can. I'm sure you know the number of times I've done something in a game with you and said immediately, like as I'm doing it, like I'm going to die farming this camp. Like
Yeah,
that
exactly. But
happens.
and you're like, and then after you're like, why was I there? I even said it myself. Like I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Um.
Sometimes you
So
just need 100 gold.
exactly, and then you end up losing, 300 of your unreliable. But so what I wanted to go over is, not just the broad how do I die less in Dota 2, but specifically, I picked out 4 heroes and 4 roles: the support role, the carry role, the mid role, and a roamer role. And I picked out 4 heroes that go in that.
Let's dial it back a bit. Why don't you want to die in Dota? No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
Yeah, well, obviously, dying in Dota 2 means you're sidelined. It's basically like if we're talking about sports ball, it's like the coach saying, "Hey, come sit on the bench for the next 2 minutes. We don't want you out there." And
And
it's
then
like,
your dad
well,
is
I'm real good
disappointed
at
in
this.
you. It's
Yeah,
like,
and then your dad's like screaming at the coach, like, "Why would you take my boy off the field?"
yeah.
Like that is what's happening to you. One, you're still getting passive gold, sure, but you're dead. You're not doing anything to help anybody. Even if you're CM, you're not providing mana aura. Even if you're Drow, you're not providing arcane aura
Yeah.
or whatever.
Hey, but if I'm
damage aura.
Venge, I am providing an inverse aura to them.
Yes, you are. Venge would be an example of when you're dead, you make them do less damage. But,
Probably the only example. Yes.
yeah, maybe the only example. Anyway, so I want to know. I feel like there is strong evidence pointing that if I am alive the entire game, even if I am 0-0-0, but I am doing 0-0 and assists,
Right.
I am doing a lot more for the team than if I'm 0-5 and assists. Or 0-4 and assists, or 0-3 and assists, 0-2 and assists, 0-1 and assists.
What if you're a mid Lena and whose name is, I don't know, arbitrarily OP or something, and you have like a carry anti-mage whose name is arbitrarily Burning or something, then maybe there's a reason to die with your Bloodstone.
For sure. Okay, and yeah, and there are specialty cases to suicide with a Bloodstone such that it's like suiciding is the same as dying to neutral creeps. It gives no one gold, you just lose gold, and your streak
it wasn't really necessary to
continues.
bring up. I was just thinking, why would I ever
It's a
want
fringe
to
case.
die? And I
It's a fringe
remembered
case.
that OP is really fucking good at dying to help Burning, which is hilarious.
Yeah, or sometimes you will kill yourself because Bloodstone disperses health per charge, and if you're burning
Right, that's what I'm
and
saying.
you're super good, okay, that's what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah, OP, is notorious for saving Burning by killing him by just dying with Bloodstone, and it's fucking hilarious.
Which is a fringe case. We've already found 2 fringe cases, Bloodstone
Welcome
and Venge.
to Dota 2.
Yeah, so they're fringe cases. But what I want to go over is CM. CM is meta. Crystal Maiden is meta as fuck.
Yeah, but she did just get nerfed.
She did just get
We
nerfed
could
for
have done just a
7.060.
patch. We could have just done a little patch. Anything interesting happened this patch? Anything that jumps out to you real quick?
We can do something.
This is literally
along
day
those
F.
lines.
No, we need to go over a couple things. Just a couple.
Let's do this and then let's do that. Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this, then let's do that.
No, we should do this first, in my opinion.
No, we'll record a separate show.
Oh.
We'll just record a separate show that's
Okay.
like 30 minutes long and release it.
All right, fine. That's acceptable.
Because it's about 30 minutes is what I deemed of talking. So
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
rather get
that's
this
fine.
across. We can do
Okay,
a double.
all right,
double
I
release.
agree.
So support CM, super meta. Maybe she's less meta now, but we all don't have much experience with 7.06D because it is Monday and it just barely came out.
Yeah, I mean, she'll still get picture. Like, you
she'll-
check
yeah,
another
she'll-
clarity, you're fine.
Yeah, she will still be picked. So I don't want to die a CM.
Hell yeah.
But I want to. I got level 1 W, which is frostbite or cold feet or whatever the fuck it's called. It's impossible to remember.
Chili toes.
For me. Chili toes. What's your suggestion? How do I mitigate death? I'm slow. I don't have boots because the game just started. I'm trying to jungle to level 2, which usually seems to be the case.
Yeah,
And
at the
correct
very
me
least.
at any point if I'm wrong.
That's good. I mean, yeah, jungle CM level 2 or 3. I like that.
Yeah, level 2 or 3. What am I doing to mitigate death in that early like before 5 minutes maybe or something like that, like super early before level 3?
Okay, well, first I want to say, why the fuck does CM's belly button show through like her shirt?
Because the women are sexualized. The women
Okay, but this
heroes
is
are
more
sexualized.
but like, that's not like a thing though. Like,
No.
the cloth would need to have like, they needed to have like stitched.
It's really frilly cloth. It's really super
no.
frilly.
No, but like, there has to be a force pushing it in, otherwise it would just drape over it, you know? Like, this is, and it's like in the middle of a design. This is just, oh my, like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's not necessary. It's not necessary, but it's there because people want to. I'm sure it's pierced too.
I
Does she
feel
have a
like
pierced
that's
belly button.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure this is just like I'm pretty sure this was unintentional. I'm fairly certain that there's no reason that she has a
Well,
cloth
think
belly.
Gaben, there's a lot of sets. What am I
Yeah.
doing to survive in
Okay,
the
sorry.
super
This is
early game?
super distracting. I gotta look at something else.
I bought.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and create the scenario that I bought courier in both wards. I give
Bless
one
up.
ward. I give one ward to my centaur off lane.
Okay. Well, hopefully he won't die 16 times then.
Yeah,
The main
hopefully
thing
not.
with okay, so this is also it kind of depends what like phase of the game you're talking about.
I'm talking like 0 to level 3, like super early.
Sure.
Like
Okay. So I
game.
mean, the only time you're gonna die in those situations is like when you're either when you're doing your little jungling to level 2 or whatever the fuck. If they have like a bounty hunter or a Ricky, and you start jungling and you're not close to a tower, and then the Ricky comes up, takes the last hit on your creep, and then starts poking your butt, and then
Yeah.
you're super sad. So if you're against someone who's gonna definitely roam in on your jungle, like a Ricky or a bounty or a Treant or some shit like that, just like don't be farming camps until you know where they are, or do it in a safe place. Like don't farm the I don't know, like let's say you're
The
let's
camp's
say
further away from
yeah,
safe lane.
let's say you're a Radiant Crystal Maiden, and there's that one medium camp that's close to like the Radiant Safe Lane rune. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Yeah. So like if you did that and you like ran toward, or if you started killing that while you were like on top of the rune or something, you're really far away from any goddamn tower or anything like that. But instead, if you do it, kind of close to the shrine, so your mid can walk to you, or you close, or like trying to pull it towards the tier 2 while you did that, that'll be safer. And that's just like specifically if you're against things. So the main thing is you just look at what are like the possible ways that I could possibly die, and it's more position, like where can I position myself so that those are less of a thing. But I feel like dying at that early stage as a support isn't too super interesting. Like I mean, a CM is a little specific, right? Because it's just like, oh, how could you possibly die when you're jungling? Well, if they have a couple invis nerds that are coming up to you, the more interesting thing I think is like, how do I not die while trying to like protect my carry from an offlaner and that kind of thing, right? Like
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
laning
Let's
phase.
say we're in a situation where I'm with you, and you're like, no, this is not a game where you can jungle CM. I need you with me in lane.
Yeah, that's not
Where am
super
I
uncommon.
playing? Like, I'm still confused when I play with you, to be honest. Like, when like you're like never go in those trees to the left, and we're saying it's Radiant safe lane, okay?
Yeah, so
Like never go to the trees to the right, never go to the trees to the left. Always stay behind me. Don't pull aggro. It's like Jesus, dude. Like, what do I do then?
yeah, so
Like,
there's an issue with this is what I call like fucking like crab syndrome, which is like where if you stop moving, you die. And not like die as in Dota, but like, oh, I can't stop moving. If I stop moving, I'll explode. I don't know, I'm fucking blow. Like, there's no
Sure.
reason to not. There's no reason to just like be moving continuously. And that's the thing in Dota is like you feel like your move speed is a resource and time is a resource. You always need to be using your move speed to get to the place that you need to be. But sometimes like where you need to be is not 5 seconds away from where you are. Sometimes it's sometimes where you need to be.
Yeah.
And one of the main things as supports is none of them have a stout shield, which means creeps are fucking lethal. And so that means is the ways that you can die are you get hit by a bunch of creeps while you're trying to harass the enemy offlaner. And that's like something that happens a lot. And that's like,
yeah.
say for instance, the wave is, a couple creeps from dying, and I'm like aggressively denying or whatever to pull the lane back, and you're like you're in front of their creeps or something, or you're behind their creeps and harassing their offlaner, and then the enemy like creep wave starts to come and I'm under tower, and now you're between an enemy set of creeps and another enemy set of creeps and the enemy hero, and I'm like in fucking Timbuktu under tower last hitting, and like then your only option is you have to run forward, but the range creeps just finished killing a bunch of shit, and while their melee creeps are running forward to me, which I'm cutting back to the tower, their range creeps are like, oh, let's fuck up that CM that's behind us harassing our offlaner, and then you just fucking take a ton of damage. They're clockwork cogs you and you die. So one big thing is like you only really have 30 seconds between when a creep wave meets and when another creep wave is gonna fucking like crush in on you like the goddamn trash compactor in the Death Star. Like that's all you got. So as soon as the creep wave meets, you have maybe like about 5-10 seconds to like walk around them, and then another 10 seconds to harass the offlaner before the other creep wave's gonna come, and then they have like 5 creeps and a hero, and you're just a shitty squishy CM, so you need to run away. And
Okay,
the,
so
okay.
let's paint a situation here that creep equilibrium has met at the side shop.
Yeah.
Okay, and they just barely met, so I know I have 30 seconds before the next wave comes in. And you are some carry, last hitting. You're not interested in helping me. I'm not going to get a kill. I'm harassing.
Yeah.
I have to, one, get far enough away from the creeps that when I attack the off lane, I'm not pulling
Yep.
the creeps. Which side do I go to if the equilibrium is right at the side shop?
Normally the inner side, almost always the inner part of the map.
Like toward the side shop?
No, like towards the center of the map.
Towards the center of the map, so by the hard camp that goes down.
Yeah, by like closer on the jungle side rather than the shop side.
Okay,
yeah.
And I'm just
yeah, and that's only true if we're in a situation where you're like you are able to be aggressive, right? So not a situation. So if they're doing like, so this is normally when they do like when I'm getting pressured in an aggro duo situation, or if they have a strong offlaner like a Clockwork or someone or an Abaddon who can just 1v1 most heroes. So like if you do that, the idea is, so like, I mean the main point of harassing is something that you do when you are stronger than another hero and they can't hit you back as hard as you can hit them back. And that is almost never true for most supports unless you're in like a kind of weird situation. Like the reason most things are offlaners is because like a single support can't deal with them. Like if Abaddon is in a lane and a CM is in a lane and you just start auto-attacking that Abaddon, the Abaddon is just going to fucking run forward and start hitting you until you die. Like that's it. You're going to frostbite him. He's going to dispel it. He's going to keep running you down. So the last thing that you want to do is like find yourself alone with the enemy offlaner alone
who's
where I
way
can't help you.
faster than me too.
Yeah. Like normally the assumption is, oh, I can sit here and hit them because if this Abba starts to run up on me, my Jug can walk forward and spin. So Abaddon is actually not going to, run up to hit my CM because he knows as soon as he gets there, he crosses a barrier to where my Jug can actually like get to him before he, runs away.
Okay, so what are you like, where are you going to be like, good job, CM? What is the condition? Like I got like 5 right clicks and a cold toes on him. Like,
yeah,
is that
sure? Yeah,
like,
if you're getting some shots out and like if you're putting out enough damage that their offlaner like is uncomfortable in the lane, then that's a good job. But if it's like you're getting a couple auto attacks off, but then you get the ranged creep aggro that's coming in or something, or you screw some stuff up, or you walked too far forward and then Abba just kind of ran at you, and I'm now under tower because I finished with my wave and I'm last hitting far away from you, and then you're at a 280 move speed and Abba just bought boots and then he's running you down. Like that's you did bad.
Or worst case, you have to come and save me, where it's like, hurry, come, Abaddon's chasing me. And then you have to leave the lane.
And then I miss 4 last hits, and I use my Q, and Abba just walks away, and I'm like, okay, great.
Okay, good job. You're a support,
just go jungle.
I guess. You're supporting me.
I feel really taken care of. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so lane's going well. I'm harassing well as this CM. And it's starting to move into like a mid-game scenario where
we're gonna cover some more stuff because we didn't cover when Roland is uncomfy. So it's pretty simple. Like the easy thing to do is when you're in a good MMR pubs or whatever, you have a good carry that does whatever, and they have a solo offlaner, and then whatever support you have walks in from around the creep wave and then right clicks their Abaddon a couple times and then walks back before the next creep wave comes. Like that's pretty simple shit. The harder stuff is if you're like against a duo, or you're against someone who's like really strong. Like let's say I'm Spectre and they have an offlane Puck or Windrunner or something like that, or Mirana, someone that's actually pretty. We'll say Puck. Puck is like a really good example of this. Someone who's pretty strong,
damage to you constantly.
Yeah, and then when like if a CM tries to trade right clicks with a Puck is going to phase shift the first right click, and then even if you hit with the second. Even if you guys had a similar attack speed, which you don't, Puck hits you twice for 60 damage each, so like 120 damage. And you tried to hit Puck once, but they phase shifted, and then you hit them again, and you do 40 damage. So Puck is basically doing 3 times your damage across the time of 2 auto attacks. Across the time of 1 auto attack, you didn't even hit them at all. So in that kind of situation, you don't want to just be trading right clicks. Or like, let's say we're against Spirit Breaker and Night Stalker, and then you have the fucking great idea, oh, I'm going to come around from the side. And the whole, like, if they're stronger than us, they're going to try to kill us. That whole principle of, oh, you right click them and they know that if they go on you, I'll walk around and, Jug spin on them. That doesn't help anymore once they're stronger than us because they're like, oh sweet, they're running at us. Now we kill CM and Jug because we're fucking Night Stalker Spirit Breaker and nothing can kill us.
Yeah.
So if you're not like fucking magnitude stronger than them, so when it's not just, one hero against two, when it's like two beefy heroes against even three kind of weak ones, like, CM, or CM, Lion, and Spectre, I mean, that can die to like one hero, not to mention two strong laners. So as soon as you're in that kind of situation, you don't want to ever be caught out alone. Like the reason these offlaners exist is because they're good at laning and killing people at level 1 and 2 and that sort of thing. So if you're in that kind of situation, you don't want to be going around from behind. You just want to be securing the lane like with your laning partner as much as possible. So just sitting
like
behind.
me and Lion are pulling together. Basically, me and Lion
that
are...
or just sitting behind me in the creep wave and then throwing auto attacks on them if they ever walk forward. Like if Spirit Breaker is just up there last hitting and also denying from me, I don't need you to like walk around and harass him out of lane. That's like a fucking fool's dream. All I want you is to sit behind me and make him not comfortable actively stealing my last hits.
So we're like bouncers in a bar with like a pool cue, where we're like, if you come near us, we're gonna poke you with this pool cue because you're not allowed right here.
And then you got to do it. And I only got my little fists, so I can't punch over the pool table. But like they're stealing all my balls, and I'm like, can you hit him? He's
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna poke
balls.
him. I'm just gonna poke him. Get out of here. Poke,
you just keep poking him in the eye, and then eventually they're like, all right, I'll back
that
up.
kind of hurt. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but if you like walk over to their side and like, oh hey, turns out they're bodybuilders and we're just tiny dudes with long sticks. Like, guess what? They're gonna break your sticks. They're just gonna break them, and then you'll die.
Be like, Puka, come here. So what about like the implications of like you're getting no experience because me and Lion are just like, well, wait, dude. Well, wait. If they come near you, don't even worry about it. We got them.
Yeah, that's why you don't do it until like so you did stay like far away you're pulling, and then as soon as I'm like, yo, hey, help. Then you walk up behind me and you start poking them until they kind of back off a bit. I mean, I'd probably rather get some last hits and reduced experience than 0 last hits actively getting denied all the time and no last hits and no experience.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone over, and obviously the wrong thing to do would be say there is no Lion because we have a Jungle Legion, a Solo Centaur, and some mid. And I'm like, I'm CM, don't worry about this. I'm level 3, and I did a 1-1-1. I'm going to go up to that Night Stalker. I'm going to freeze his toes, and then I'm going to hit him with a blast of freeze as well, and it's going to be good.
Yeah,
and he goes from like
suck.
100 to 80.
That would suck if there was also a Night Stalker there who came up and killed you. But I mean, if it's a solo offlane, that sounds great. Yeah, do that.
No, I'm talking the wrong thing to do is there's both of them there. And I'm like, don't worry about it. You're Spectre. I got these guys. Like, I can hit both of them with my Q. And then they'll be slow and I'll be able to get away. And then it's like, nope, I get hit with both their Qs.
And then everyone dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's,
okay.
that's not the right thing to do.
And that's how I die in Dota 2. So basically it's this very like finesse lane with like a Spectre CM is a really good example because you're right. Like Spectre, what is Spectre gonna do? Like, oh shit, they're coming toward me. I'm gonna spectral dagger into the trees and hide.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and then as CM, it's like, oh god, I'm gonna hide and hope that they don't dive the tower at level 1 because they can.
And that's another one of those like, I mean, all of Dota is how well you can visualize or at least imagine the way things are going to go in every situation. So like from a fucking like Dota visualization fucking scenario, if you're CM and you walk around alone in the trees against Night Stalker Spirit Breaker, what is going to happen? You're going to get charged and I'm going to try to walk up to them and spin, but you're going to die before that ever happens. So that's why when I see you alone in the trees, I'm like, get the fuck out of the trees. What are you doing? If they see you, you're dead.
And me, I'm like, huh?
And then you're dead.
I'm supposed to be here, right?
Yeah,
and it's like you were like 15 seconds ago.
No, it's because it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, to like crystallize it, there are two things that a support does in lane. If your lane is way stronger than them, and I have a way to bail you out of literally anything their offlaner can do, walk around the side and right click them. All you have to do is exert some pressure in a way that they can't deal any pressure back. And as we said yesterday or last week or something, the way Dota 2 works is if you are stronger than someone, they will run away from you. If you are not stronger than someone, they will kill you. There's no half dead in Dota. It's you're fucking dead or you're not. So as soon as they're stronger than you and you are walking to them, you're dead and they're not.
Yeah, they're like, ooh, nice turkeys. I'm gonna give them some turkeys.
Specifically turkeys.
Specifically turkeys. Okay, so now I'm a CM. Your lane actually was going great, and you're like,
Bless
all right,
up.
leave. You leave, go jungle, and I'm
Fuck
like,
off.
okay. I jungle, and I'm like, I'm hitting my level 3. I'm getting tranquils. You know what I mean? Luckily, I started with a wind lace or something like that, so I'm able to build my tranquils at the side shop.
Great.
I'm not taking the courier from anybody except to get like wards when I ask to
Yeah.
get the courier. And now we've all of a sudden entered this stage where like I've lived through night 1 against the Night Stalker
Dude,
because
good
I had
job,
good
man.
vision. Because there was good vision in our jungle or
And
something
you
like
didn't
that.
just hang out at the side of the trees for no fucking reason.
Yeah, and everything's going well. And like now it's like daytime number 2, and we're seeing like 8 minutes or something like that. 9 minutes in the game. Approaching level 6, which I feel like is like kind of mid game almost for a support is when you're approaching level 6.
Yeah, it's like 11
Um,
minutes, kind of when the landing phase is ending.
yeah. What now? What am I doing to avoid
Okay.
death at all
Yeah,
costs?
so this is so back when Purge and Blitz and fucking Eosin and Sexy Bambo and a rotating cast of humans, one of which was Corey, were in Korea playing in the KDL, becoming KDL champions. There was one interview from Purge where like someone was asking like why he died or something, and he was like, "Well, I was playing Crystal Maiden and I already got my round of spells off, and I wasn't gonna get another round of spells off before I died in that. So I mean that's why I died. I didn't make a big deal that I died because I already used my round of spells, and that's similar to how supports work. Only ideally you don't die.
Yeah.
So what like so what I mean a support really doesn't I mean okay, so there's a lot to Dota as soon as you really like pare down exactly what your damage potential is and what your heroes can do. Uh I think one good way to think about it is there's a lot of things like you think about like physical damage carries, and for the most part in your opinion they just do like infinite damage. You know, like there's no limit on the amount of damage they can put out. Like how much damage can a fucking Sven put out? Just
I mean, as
forever.
many hits as he can get, as
Yeah,
long as
okay,
he can stay
but
alive.
if you
Yeah.
really think like how many hits does Sven get out outside of whatever BKB window, which and then you could say that then you're not like shut up. There's a lot of ways to deal with
Yeah.
Sven BKB. Honestly, your BKB window is not a big deal on Sven. That's just when you aren't dead. But so basically Sven gets out 2, maybe 2.5 seconds of damage in any fight. That was kind of how he was played in the ancient stacking phase of the game, where the entire thing was built around blink,
Blinks and he
stun,
stuns and it
echo
choo, choo,
saber.
choo, choo,
Yeah,
choo,
and the
choo.
echo saber
And it's
was
like,
good
yeah.
because how do you optimize 2 seconds of damage? An item that can only do its shit again after 5 seconds. Like it's perfect for Sven. Sven has a
Yeah.
2 second damage window. This item spends all of its budget on like the first half second of a fight. Great.
Yeah.
So that's how like Sven was built. The way that you fight with Sven is you only have a 2 second damage window, basically for the most part. And if
And
you
you
don't
hope
get
the
your
100
shit
to 0 happens in that 2 seconds, basically.
right, and then
Hmm.
so from that you can say, okay, so even if a hero like Sven really only has a certain window to be dealing damage, the same is probably true for most things like Juggernaut. There are very few times when you're playing Juggernaut where you're just sitting still and right clicking someone until they die. Like that's after everyone's spells are used up and all that shit like that. Maybe you're in that situation, but for the most part, it's like you hit a few times, you spin, you hit a couple times, maybe in like the entire duration of your Abyssal Blade if you're like 6 slotted and shit. But before then, your damage window is basically just when you're Omni Slashing. And if you did enough damage in Omni Slash, then you can kind of walk forward with Blade Fury. Otherwise, you're using Blade Fury to get out.
If
Yeah.
you're sitting there and right clicking with somebody, you're like, I know I'm gonna die. Let's see how much damage I'm gonna put out.
Yeah.
Basically,
There's
is
almost like no time where you're just fucking sitting there doing damage. It's
just
almost all based on limited things.
Yeah.
Like even fucking like OD, it's like your the number of Hurricane Pike hits you have or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
yeah,
It's
and
weird to look at
yeah,
it that way because you just think that like, yeah, they just do infinite damage. They're just in the fight the entire time. It's like, no,
yeah.
they still have to finesse around too.
Yeah, PA, another perfect example. It's basically 4, maybe 5 attacks with Phantom Strike and an additional one with Stifling Dagger. You've basically got 6 attacks and a Stifling Dagger, or 6 attacks total with PA before, like that's your damage window in your first round of spells. Then you got to get out. Yeah, shit like that.
Are
So
you
anyway,
saying like this is a physical hero's round of spells? Is that like kind of what you're getting at?
I want to get at more. So if we can accept that even in these most extreme situations, everything is more or less relegated to one window of getting spells out, we can definitely for sure accept that a support hero's window of usefulness is just an opening
One
barrage
ring.
of spells, and then they really don't do anything until that next barrage of spells.
So I'm Crystal Maiden. I throw my Q. I frostbite somebody. Sven blinks in, gets his 2 seconds, then we back. And
Yes,
then
yeah. So
yeah,
CM, the way you play CM in a fight, you throw your spells out, and then you get the fuck, like, you hide in goddamn trees until your spells are up again. If you don't want to die, there may be some kind of situation where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get my Nova off, and then I need to wait till I'm gonna Glimmer Cape someone. Yeah, that's a thing. But for the most part, if you're worried about, you die too much or whatever, don't just fucking like use your spells and then get your shit out of there until your spells are up again. Use your Glimmer Cape when it's time to use your Glimmer Cape and shit, but for the most part, just use your spells and get the fuck out until your spells are up again. That's how you support. You
maybe
get
like
the
hide
fuck
and stay in
back.
range for force staff or something. Like go hide in the nearest place where you can still force staff, like your
Yeah.
Sven if you get stuck or something.
Yeah, I mean,
But
this was a huge issue for me too on my supporting that. Like Storm pointed out a while ago, is like I would just be way too far up in the front looking for an opportunity to use a spell, and I would just fucking die. And he'd be like, "No, just sit back, like more,
yeah,
like sit fucking like halfway down the lane, and then when we need you, blink in. Like don't get fucking caught when you still have your blink up. Like the only time you ever should die is after you have blinked in if it was a bad blink, not like I just die for no fucking reason waiting to hex someone. Just like get the fuck
yeah.
back.
And I think of the heroes that I really think of, the supports that I think of are like the warlock that was like got killed first in the fight, and you're like, God damn it!
Yeah,
Like you were our fight. You know what I mean?
yeah, and that's
Um,
another visualization thing. Like, if you don't know what Warlock does, you think, oh, I need to look for a good chaotic offering. Like, no, you fucking don't. You need to sit behind everyone and counter initiate with a chaotic offering. That's how the hero works. You don't just
yeah,
chaotic offering 5 people. You wait for them to go on you, then you chaotic offering. You know why?
and then
Because
you
if you look for that, you're just gonna die before it shows up.
yeah. It's really where you notice it the most is with the supports with like or Lion dies before he can finger and he's like, oh god damn it, I was gonna finger that guy. And it's like, well, if you were back and you came in and you hex the guy that Sven was doing his 2.5 seconds on, then you impale the other guys to the left, and then you throw your finger out, to one of those guys, that's much better than just sitting there and like, I'm gonna get the finger, I promise. And you always say,
Yeah,
you're just like, God damn it, Lion, like you haven't gotten a finger off all game
yeah.
because of your positioning.
And also to that effect, most spells that you have, they do things, right? And they do basically the same thing to every hero they hit. Yes, of course, there's some stuff like, oh, you want to use a disarm on a physical carry and that sort of thing. But like Lion's Finger of Death, outside of outside of a few kind of like game specific situations, it does the same damage to everyone, and people are kind of just gonna kill whoever they can. So unless you're like really noticing something like, oh, hey, this Ricky is tearing us up and he's really mobile, so we need to save Lion Finger, and Lion needs to sit in the back, and as soon as he sees Ricky, we need to like stun him and finger him and just burst him real quick. Like outside of
Yep.
a situation like that, generally just try to get your spells out, because the more time you spend looking for a good spell, the more like, so if I spend 5 seconds looking for a good stun and don't do it, I might only get one stun out that fight for one. Two, I may die in the 5 seconds where I'm positioned aggressively trying to get a good stun. And that's kind of like, that's why Blink is good, because it lets you, sit back safely until you see the good opportunity. But
Yeah.
depending on a lot of shit, you may just end up, like not getting a spell because you spent too long looking for the right opportunities. Like if you're trying to get a good finger off, I don't know, just finger someone that you see. That way it's not off cooldown when you die. Just fucking use your spells.
Yeah, because when you're
Click your
dead,
buttons.
that's the best time for your spells to be cooling down is when you're dead.
Yeah.
Which hopefully you after your second round of spells, even you're like, okay, I'm out. Like this fight's either won or lost. Like I'm back again.
Yeah.
Like and we've heard a bunch from pros where it's like if like Secret's winning games because all their supports are getting 2 rounds of spells off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like,
Shit like that is huge. Like,
yeah,
yeah, just get so like, yeah, like there's so many support spells that are like, I mean, the easiest thing is just look at disables, right? Like, a lion Earth Spike Hex combo is fucking like 6.5 seconds of disable. If Lion gets that out twice against like, gets a Queen of Pain disabled for 6.5 seconds and a Sven disabled for 6.5 seconds, like that's insane.
well
That
that's
is more than
5v4. Yeah, that's 2 5v4 situations in
yeah,
the same
that's
fight.
like that's wild. Or like if a Bane
Yeah.
gets 2 nightmares off in a fight on like their carry or something and no one disables it, it's like their fucking carry wasn't in the game for 14 seconds. Of course we won the fight because of that. So
Yeah.
like if you can manage to trade a support's kit for what a carry is going to do, and that's why disables are
Oh
so
yeah.
good on supports, because like
Yeah.
it's similar
Good
to how
point.
I think like for Doom, if for like Doom is always best when he's like when it's okay to play 4 Doom, he's wild good. When it's okay to play 3 Doom, it's like not quite as cool, because Doom is like you just basically trade Doom for their hero. So if you trade like the ability Doom for their support Omni Knight or something, that's not great because you just traded your off laner for an Omni Knight. But if you trade, your jungling Doom for their Storm Spirit, you traded your like 4 jungler for their mid Storm. Like that's trading up. And so on the topic of supports with disables, if you trade your 5 Bane for their 1 Sven, like my Bane's entire fight was dedicated to just trading him doing anything for trading Sven doing anything. That's great. That's awesome. Like if
Yeah, you
that's
just fought up for
yeah,
sure.
you
Yeah.
yeah, you fucking yeah, you that's a
That's
trade up easy. I
I've
traded
never
yeah.
I love these quantifications. Like that's always what I've been looking for in Dota is like a numbers game, right? Like if I can take me as a 5 and disable them as a 1, wow. I just lots of value. Lots of
Yeah,
value there.
and that's one of the reasons why disabling supports are so good, because you trade, a hero that has 5k net worth, and you trade everything that they could possibly do for all the effectiveness of their one with like 200,000 net worth. So if you, cancel those two out, you have one team that's down 20k net worth, one team that's down 5k net worth, and it's now a 15k net worth swing more or less because those two heroes
Wow.
are just spending the entire fight canceling each other out.
Well, that's fucking that's deep, man. But usually I will say like I'm lying. Oh man, if I impale and then hex and then finger their Skywrath mage who is there for their 5, that's gonna kill him. And it's like, well, you just killed somebody who's 7,000 net worth, where you could have used all those spells to disable their 20k net worth Sven.
Yeah,
So it's yeah,
and those things, of
that's
course,
gonna make me
in like
target
a
prio.
vacuum,
Yeah.
in a vacuum that doesn't perfectly, because okay, what if Lion is our only disable, that, or rather, what if Bane is our only BKB piercing disable, in which case we don't want Bane to be using it on Sven, we want Bane to be using his Fiend's Grip on their Enigma who has BKB but no Lincolns. And like in that
Yeah.
situation, we cannot afford to do anything besides Fiend's Grip the Enigma or whatever. But I mean, in general, you can infer that obviously trading a fives, trading what a 5 does in a fight for taking their Sven out of a fight, great. That's good. That's a good trade.
That's a really, really good point. Okay, so now we're going into the late game. I feel like it might be a little more of the same, right? A little like mid and late game, the way
Yeah,
you play a
the only
support.
difference is like more and more shit can happen the later you get into the game, and more it becomes more and more important to like disable, or rather to like trade yourself as much as possible. Because like once you get to late game, it's really just like cores against cores, and then the supports are like, you know, like Troll Warlord is bashing your Sven down, and Troll Warlord's gonna kill him. But then Lion pops in and hexes the Troll Warlord, and then Sven, gets unstunlocked, and then Storm hammers the Troll Warlord, and then you throw another stun, and then Sven is able to kill the Troll Warlord. Like the only thing that you're doing as a support past that point, outside of like if you're Enigma with a black hole or some shit like that, the only thing that you're really doing is you just look for the core v core engagements, and you just try to tilt them into your core's favor as much as possible.
Yeah, you're basically throwing the favor in your core's position as much as you possibly can.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the definition of support changes throughout the game with respect to time. Um, in the early game, that's why like for the longest time I viewed a support as you buy the wards and you step and you place the wards and you upgrade the courier, and if you need
yeah,
sentries you buy sentries. And yes, that while that's true, you're like what you're like just what we've talked about on this episode thus far is like okay, in a situation where say it's a centaur or something like that, I'm ideally I'm throwing some harass on him, making the centaur feel uncomfortable being in the off lane, hoping that he backs and misses a couple of or misses a wave of experience because of my presence being there.
yeah,
Whereas later game, I'm trying to get a whole wave of my spells off. Like it's very different, but I'm still a support the entire game.
yeah,
So and in 2K you'll be like GG no support, and it's like, well, what do you mean by GG no support? Like GG no support in the early game, GG no support in like the mid game where like he wasn't able to get any of his spells off. Like be more specific when you say GG no support. You
Yeah.
know that,
I think
which
we can actually like one-liner this pretty easily. Because pretty much every example that I gave is the idea of someone lower in the farm priority list, which is a fairly kind of loaded term for a number of reasons, but in general, it's accepted. Someone in the like lower in the farm priority list, and you trade your time for someone higher in the farm priority list. Because like when you're zoning out an offlaner, you're really not getting anything, but neither is the offlaner. You're trading your five's time for their three's time, which is good. If my five is just getting passive gold and their three is just getting passive gold, like that matters more for someone higher in the farm priority if they're getting the exact same gold intake as my five. And then later on, like, okay, the wave of spell is not necessarily applicable. But as you once it turns into like, oh, in the context of disables, trading disables for shit, and as a support, that's like more damage oriented. The idea is that I'm trying to do as much damage as their core does, or some shit like that. Like if you're a Jakiro, if you're a Jakiro, it's still like, you're trying to. There's very few supports that don't have a lot of lockdown. Being honest, there's like
well,
Shadow Demon.
I started thinking of like the heal supports, like even thinking on like on a StarCraft level where it's like, what did medics do? Medics were useless without a Marine or a Marauder, right? Like
Yeah,
uh their only purpose, and yet you built them and you needed them, was to make sure that one Marine versus one Marine plus a medic means the medic Marine will win every single time.
yeah.
And same is true with like a Sven versus a Sven. Well, the Sven with the Dazzle is going to win every single time if the Dazzle's just pumping heals
Yeah,
into the Sven.
it gets
You
a
know,
little less clean when you add healers and shit into it. But like
it does.
in
It
general,
does.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and also there's like multiple ways, because if you just want to look at it as like lockdown, it's kind of whatever. But if you expand it a bit to just like so the idea with the Bane isn't, so if I'm just like sitting somewhere nightmaring their Sven nonstop in this ideal world where I can do that, um, it's not so much that like I'm trading my Bane for their Sven, so much as it's like, um, how do I want to say it? I'm negating one hero's contributions to a fight, by sacrificing another hero's contributions to a fight. I think that's a good way to phrase it. And that's not just like crowd control. There was a battle cup I think I played with Scrunk and AG. And afterwards, Scrunk, I think during the game, Scrunk was just like, AG, you have no fucking idea how to play Ogre Magi. This is infuriating. Go kill yourself. And not like as a mean thing to say, but like literally he needed Ogre Magi to like be actively killing himself in these fights. And what that means is, so like we were against like a Phantom Assassin or something, for example. I don't remember exactly what it was, but the idea was, okay, Ogre Magi, really easy to get your Fire Blast and your Ignite off. Your Bloodlust is up before the fight starts. And then after that, like one of your main resources is your big fucking fat body. And what you're supposed to do with that is you're supposed to thrust it upon them. So like PA is trying to look for a squishy dude to, dagger and blink and get her 5 auto attacks off. And the idea is you want Ogre Magi to sit there so that the, dagger blink 5 auto attacks go on our huge ass Ogre Magi who has no right to be that tanky. And then PA will trade her entire contribution to the fight, which is the amount of damage she does with her burst. That's not going to be up again for 20 seconds because she max blur like a fucking savage. Instead, it's just going to all be pumped into our fucking 5 Ogre Magi or 4 Ogre Magi or whatever, who we don't really care about anyways, who's already used the spells. So like that's another way it can work. So you can die as a support if you manage to like, if you force their Magnus to solo RP you or something, then you did totally trade your CM. But what you don't want is like, if you're fighting an Invoker and he tried to like meatball combo our Dragon Knight or some shit like that, and then CM dies because the fucking meatball that wasn't even meant for her like rolls over and kills her, or Sven, Sven is hitting our PA or something and the cleave spills over and kills our CM. That's shitty support deaths.
Positioning.
Yeah, but a good support death is like they traded away essential tools. So like they traded down, like if Jug Omni slashes CM.
Yeah, or like Avenge swapping the Dragon Knight out of the meatball combo.
Yeah,
and just takes it, and it's just like worth. Yeah, that was good.
And then Invoker used his entire big damage combo on our Vengeful Spirit, and now he, does less damage and also doesn't have a set of spells. So like, yeah, we're down one hero, but they're effectively also down one hero until Invoker's spells actually cool down again.
And and so long as like, so the Dragon Knight was a little bit out of position, but now by virtue of swapping him, you've put him in a good position with the whole team, and now you can run up on that Invoker and you can you can stun him, whatever Dragonite's stun is. Whatever.
Yeah, and that's
is.
like that's when it's like okay-ish to die, but in general, of course, it would be better if Venge did that and then Glimmer caped herself and Force Staffed out. But
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can only do so much. But I mean, this is supposed to be how to not die, not me justifying all the ways that you can die as a support, and it's cool. But I'm just saying, on Ogre Magi,
so long as Ogre Magi, say, what if that was Ogre Magi's first death in the first big fight? That death attributed to a win. What I mean by how to not die in Dota 2 or how to die less in Dota 2 is how to win a game, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the end goal is
Yeah.
if I died 16 times and won, but I didn't drag the team down, say all 16 of those deaths, it was a 90-minute game and I was playing Ogre Magi, and every time I died was because I soaked up a bunch of damage from the PA.
Yeah.
Because she just never learned her lesson.
Yeah,
then it was worth it.
That's like one of my big issues as a carry that I've been having lately, and we're actually only going to cover supports this episode. I'm sure you're aware of. This is like every topic we go into. I'm like, actually, there's a lot baked into this one.
Because there's a lot.
It's a baking show.
There
basically.
is. And
it's a multi-ingredient baking
I've learned
show.
a lot over the last 2 weeks. I will say that. It's been really nice.
Cool. So, so the main thing, I guess, the main point that I would want to, fucking crystallize or whatever, I need to, like, learn words, like, more of them.
I like crystallize.
Crystallize
it's the first time I've ever heard you say crystallize. I think you say it twice.
You don't fucking listen to me ever. Because, you know what? I say it a lot, okay?
I don't think you. I think this
no,
is.
you're probably right.
I would bet
I've never used that word.
First time you've ever said crystallize on.
Yeah,
top.
I say coalesce a lot. I think
you say coalesce. Coalesce is a good word, though.
Coalesce is good too, word. But it sounds like it needs to be a different word. Like it sounds like it should be a little different.
Yeah, it does.
Like coalescence or something, but it's coalescent. Yeah. But like coalesce seems like it's missing like 2 letters. Anyway, so if you want to crystallize, it'd be more like the way you don't die on a support is mostly positioning based, but that's mostly in response to dying to things like Sven cleaving that wasn't meant for you, or an invoker combo that wasn't meant for you, or got caught on the edge of a Void's Chronosphere, or caught on the edge of it. Like basically, if you are ever positioned in a way that, and I think this is I was talking about this with. Maybe it was. Oh yeah, no, it was with Sam on Thursday. This idea of like the idea of like radiation damage, sort of, and not radiation as in radiance, but like like if or blast wave or some shit like that. Like if you drop a bomb or something, or like an explosion happens, there's like the thing that they meant to blow up, and then there's like the blast wave that's just around it, the incidental damage. If you are dying to the incidental damage that's not really meant for you, that's bad. That's you're being a shitty
you're
support
too far
in your position
forward,
like an idiot.
Probably.
Yeah. Or if you're dying for, nothing. So like if their jug manages to like just blink abyssal, hit you twice, and then like spin out before the fight starts, and then you're like, oh shit.
And it's usually on your warlock, and your warlock's like, fuck, I haven't got a golem out all game. And it's like, no wonder you haven't got a golem out all game. You're in the river, dude. Why are you in the river?
Yeah.
Like, get out of the fucking river.
Yeah, so it's mostly positioning and like it's like a difficult line to like tarry over or whatever, right? Like you don't want to be so far back that you can never seize an opportunity, but you don't want to be so far forward that you're just gonna get got.
Dare we say Goldilocks zone? Dare we say you could learn a lesson from Earth when playing a hero? Live in the Goldilocks zone where it's not too hot, not too cold, it's just right.
Sure. Okay.
As a support.
Yeah.
So learn
but that's
something
shit
from
advice. You can't just be like,
bears.
here's the key. You got to be in the right spot. That's how you don't die. Welcome to Proudland. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's like
always if you're a support,
advice.
Always err on the back of being fucking far away from everything. If something needs to happen, you will walk forward and then do it. If something needs to happen, you cannot walk backwards and do it. You are fucking dead.
Bad analogy of the episode. It's better to be too much on the soft bed than too much on the hard bed, right? Or like it's better to be too far back than too far forward.
Yeah, that's not
because if you're too
anymore.
far. Yeah, no, I took it.
That's just straight up. I mean, it is. There's no need for an analogy if it's very easily parsed. Like, be forward, be back. Exactly. Don't be forward. And if you have a blink dagger, be fucking back. I had. Have you seen? I'm sure I've shown it to you. It's like I want to say 10 seconds of me playing Lion that I just
Oh,
put
your
on.
lion clip? Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, where
that
you're
was like
you're
the
by
day
like the
after.
secret shop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was like the day after Skrunk was like, "You die way too much as a support. Just get the fuck back and cast your spells." Like, oh, that makes sense. So like in that clip, like we're sieging Radiant top high ground. Like there's the stairs, and then the indentation, and then the stairs, and then it's like up to where the tier 2 is. Like I'm just sitting on the back of the stairs, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out here. And they like dove. They're fighting like behind the tower, like on top of the racks. And I'm just like, oh, you walk forward. I'm blinking the stun. I'm gonna walk back. And I just fuck around, and then like Spirit Breaker is like charging at me, but I'm in space, so I have all the time to react. And he just like charges through everything. I'm like, oh, hex him. And then I'm gonna walk back, and then I'm gonna mana drain, then blink forward and stun. Then I'm gonna walk back, and like that was it. I just stayed really fucking far.
Off.
It was,
Yeah,
I got like 3 rounds of spells and the Finger of Death on like 5 people. It was great.
Yeah. You have shared this clip with me. You shared this clip with me when you shared all your cool StarCraft 2 clips with me as well.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh yeah, and I have this cool Dota clip.
Dude, I had a druid moment, I think yesterday, that I like really wanted to just fucking clip because it was great. I was
like at here in the Discord, like, hey everybody at here, check this out.
Yeah,
like,
no, it was okay. I gotta say, all right. So I'm lone druid. I'm with the dire. I'm like near the dire easy camp, like that little tiny boys live. And my bear is around the trees eating the camp, and I'm on like the right side of it, and I'm getting ganked up, dog, like ganked up hard. And I get Invoker like tornadoes me up, and a Wraith King like jumps on me and like is about to stun me, and I fucking like move my bear as far as I can, like, so that command I have to ignore pathing. So I hold my alt button so that it ignores pathing, and I just keep right clicking my bear as close to me as I can. And as soon as I land from the tornado, my bear fears them like through the trees right on the edge, and I just run my shit out. And I was like, oh, thank God I fucking hid my bear, and then like hugged the goddamn bark and whispered through the trees, I'm a scary boy. And then everyone ran the fuck away from me. It was like, I was like, oh God, that was close. And then I think we probably lost that game because I've been losing on Lone Druid lately, which has been very sad. But I don't think it's my fault. I think it's everyone else's.
It's always everyone else's fault, probably. Except when playing with me lately, because it
well,
is all my
you're
fault.
Someone else as well.
Yeah, I am someone else to you.
Let's see. Yes, I did in fact lose that game.
So I'm going to summarize this episode on what I learned, because that's the luxury of Proudland. I was like, I'm going to make a show to make me better at this game, and then I got all complacent and lazy and wanted to do dumb shit. But I will say, Mr. Fancy Pants, Extravagant Trousers, listener of the show, you have inspired me to get better, because that's the whole point, and I'm going to do that. But I'm going to summarize this show in that if I'm on a support, I should be looking for not necessarily being back, but the best position for me to be in to get as many spells off as possible. And that doesn't always mean, I guess it means, back can mean to the side, can mean sometimes forward, you know what I mean? But yes,
it's like
being
nestled
in the optimal position.
You want to be nestled in, real cozy like. You don't want to be
I want to be tucked in. I want to be tucked in on the bed that's just right.
Real cozy.
What I've learned today is support is not the same thing relative to time in the game. Support can mean support from 0 to like 8 minutes or 0 to 11 minutes or whatever means something different than 11 minutes on. I want to, no matter what support I'm playing, I want to get my volley off at least twice before I either die or I have to just get back permanently because the fight's been decided.
Yeah. What next?
And I want to make sure, which is something that we didn't really get into, but I do want to make sure that I have the right items, like a blink dagger. We touched on that a couple of times. Like if I'm Lion, I can be so cozy, so cuddled in with a blink dagger and make sure that I get my spells off.
Yeah, one of the big deal with items for supports is like you want your items to be items that make it possible for you to be able to use your spells without getting yourself killed. So like, oh, Glimmer Cape on Crystal Maiden. That way I can get a good ulti in the middle of everyone and not fucking die immediately.
Force Staff on Vengeful Spirit. I can swap and then Force Staff out.
Yep, or Blink out, because that is something you can do now. You used to not be able to buy Blink on Venge because they were like, well, you can swap someone Blink. And now it's like,
are you serious?
Sure. Yeah, same with Pudge. Because then you could blink and hook someone or blink and dismember, and that'd be
They would
bullshit.
literally not allow you to buy Blink.
Yeah.
That is way before my time. I did not
Not
even
that
know
far.
was...
It was not that long ago, honestly.
Wow, like not 3 years ago.
Maybe 2 at most. It was like
I guess they were heroes I never played.
Do you remember when Blink didn't cost or used to cost mana?
Like a low amount. It was like 20, wasn't it?
75,
like
but yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was like after that.
I probably was just so new that I wasn't building Blink Dagger. So it just didn't affect my life anyway.
6.79. That is not long
that's
ago.
before my time. That's before my time.
Is it? Oh yeah. Okay, I
started at 6.8. 6.8,
yeah,
6.81.
No, you're right. You're right.
Wow, that was before my time. Okay. I was like, I don't remember it, but I never played Pudge and I never played Venge, so I guess so.
That was fucking 2013. That was a while ago. Huh.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Dota time
3.5,
flies fast, right?
Yeah, I guess 3.5 years ago. Oh, never mind. Yeah, okay.
Anyway, you lovely people, we are going to close this show because we're going to run through the 7.06D. I scanned through it. I honestly haven't read anything, but I do think that it deserves like
20 to 30 minutes of consideration.
A nod of a cap, to be like, this is this, and there's a reason for it.
Acceptable.
Yeah. But thank you all for listening once again. You can find us at defenseofthepatients.com. You can support Defense of the Patients by going to patreon.com/defenseofthepatients. You can find us on iTunes. Leaving a review is a humongo help. And we did just get a new review. I'm going to blast through like 3 because it's been so long.
Okay.
I'm just going to
1 because we got to record something else.
You're right. But I mean, I can blast through.
Just blast them.
I'm going to just be like, thank you so much.
Just blast it, dude.
These are most recent reviews from PantherMed25. This podcast has 5 episodes a week! ! Exclamation point. If you love Dota, they put up different content every day, and yet Dota remains the focus from different angles. Hype. 5 stars. Thank you so much. From Thevador, great podcast. Great to listen to while taking a crap or on a commute to a miserable job. 10 out of 10. Awesome. Thank you. By Flutter, this is the Dota 2 podcast you were hoping for when you typed in Dota 2 in the search bar. Varied content, fun personalities, extremely reliable update schedule, and great community.
We may have read this one already.
Well, no matter what you're looking for, this is a great Dota 2 podcast from Flutter. Thank you so much, and we did read this one already.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's okay.
Leave reviews. That helps us a ton. Pledge, that helps us a ton as well. Be involved in the community. That helps us the most.
Yes.
And how you do that is join discord.gg/.p. I just want to personally say thank you to all of our listeners, and thank you to Proud for once again imparting some really good knowledge upon me.
Also,
now I feel comfortable playing support.
Mailing me gingerbread cookies would help us a lot. So if you
the real question is, would you share those gingerbread cookies? And I don't think you would. You haven't heard the famous tale with George Washington or Lincoln, or I think it's Lincoln, where his mom would only bake gingerbread cookies like because they were poor, they couldn't afford it, so she'd only do it every so often. And
I don't believe in history, dude.
Where he'd give like 2 gingerbread cookies away to a friend when he asked, and he'd only keep 1 for himself because his mom.
That sounds like socialism, and this is America, where if you help anyone, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, this is Roland for Proud, saying, "Stay alive."
Yeah, I can't really do that one.
Stay alive.
Yeah, there's really no way to sing that without making it a joke.
Yeah. No, you can't. Except the person that sang it, which
because they're like good. I can't go high.
I've tried to.
I can't go high.
Stay alive. Yeah, it doesn't work that way. All right. Good.